welcome back to my channel. It's Pluto Talks here with yet another video. And today we are back, okay? We are talking about Baddies USA episode 3. And when I tell y'all this was a load to talk about, this was a lot going on in this episode. So, yeah. If this is your first time seeing my very, very pretty face, so welcome to Pluto Talks. On this channel, we chill, we talk, we tell story times, and most importantly, because y'all been showing me so much love, I do recaps and reviews on my favorite TV shows and movies. And y'all, before we even get into it, I really just want to say that I appreciate y'all for all the love that I've been receiving. Mind y'all, I literally just created this channel about maybe 2 weeks ago. Like literally when episode 1 came out is when I uploaded my very first video on this channel, and literally started from 1 subscriber, aka myself. I literally subscribed to myself from my second channel, which is actually my main channel. On that channel, I post more lifestyle content, vlogs, day in the lives, and I also started Vlogmas. Okay, I'm doing it on a weekly basis though, because as you guys can see, I'm running 2 different YouTube channels, and I want to make sure that I give quality over quantity. Okay, but with that being said, let me get back to my main point. I just want to say a big thanks to all the people who have liked, commented, subscribed, everything. Like, y'all don't understand how much that means to me. And y'all see the upgrade. I forgot to mention, we got a new mic. Okay. Hopefully it sounds good. Let me know in the comments if you guys like how this sounds. Let's get into this recap of Baddies. And as y'all can see by the title, I said let's get ready to tango, because we're going to get to it, but y'all know what I'm talking about if you've watched the episode, because Tank and Killer was literally killing me. Like, y'all taking 20 minutes. Like, first of all, Zeus, I hate the way that y'all edit, because they really could have chopped that up a little bit more, because we did not have to see them squaring up for 20 minutes. We really didn't. We did not have to see that. Okay. Also, I want to add, if my energy is a bit off today, I am tired. Okay. Your girl has a full-time job. I am employed. Yes. And also I am in school. So your girl is trying to balance everything, but I had to make sure that I got this video out for y'all, because y'all been showing me so much love. So I'm like, I got to put in the work to really show my appreciation. So we start off where we left off last week with Dolly versus Tank, and Dolly ate. Dolly tore, no shade. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all thought, even though we did see Dolly leaking, like her nose was bleeding. But I really feel like the person who had the most hits, and that's how I calculate a winner of a fight, is based on how many face shots, how many hits you get on a person. And no shade, Dolly got that, in my opinion. So they get broken up, and Dolly throws throws Tank's wig, because Dolly had like a slick back bun or whatever, but she throws Tank's wig and is basically like, you knew you didn't like me, da 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 da. And then Tank, she like, I know, but so then Tank goes in her confessional like,
Dolly, it's not that I don't like you, it's my fans don't like you.
Like, that's literally how she was saying it. And she was like, and at the end of the day, it's still gonna be, nah, Dolly, you lost. And she kind of ate that, but Dolly kind of ate that back, because when she got in her confessional, she basically was like, nah, Tank, you lost. And that's what I've been saying this whole season thus far, because no shade, Tank, you've been going out sad. You too big, too thick for all that. And Dolly, she's pretty thick, but she is significantly smaller in size compared to Tank. And then Tank is in scene basically saying, bitch, look at your nose, da 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 da. And Dolly was like, I've been on camera looking worse, which we have seen worse. We've seen her with a broken hand, a broken nose, a broken leg, a broken arm. Like, Dolly done been through the ringer. I'm so surprised she's not injured reserve right now, because she been squabbling. No shade. So now we get a montage of this beautiful house. I'm not going to lie. The house is tea. The house is very tea. But then we get a confessional from Nat basically saying that the ladies won't be staying at the house, which I was kind of confused about. Let me know what y'all think. I low-key feel like the reasoning behind it makes sense in theory, but it doesn't make sense in like realistically. And we saw it on this episode because she basically said that the ladies won't be staying there. So I presume that they'll be staying at hotels. But she basically was saying that meetings and like stuff like that will be held at the houses in every city. And like I said, in theory, that makes sense because, you know, we've seen when the ladies live in the house, they tear the house up. And even on Betty's Gone Wild, if you guys watched that, they literally got kicked out of one of the houses in Brazil because they were causing too much of a disruption. I'm sorry. But, so it makes sense in theory, but we know how the meetings go. This is nothing new. So regardless, it's going up. So the first bus that pulls up to the house is the bus with Scotty. And on that bus, I think it was Tavy, Scotty, Fauna, and Cold Killer. This was a calm bus, so they get off, and then we see Scotty in the confessional like, oh, the president is here, like Madam President is here. We knew that she wasn't going anywhere, da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Scotty, interesting confessional of yours. So basically they're just chatting, whatever. And then we get a scene where the ladies, aka, it was really like Fauna and Killer and Tavy, and somebody said something about betting $500 to jump in the pool. And then I heard on the side, Fauna was like, give me 1,000 and da da da. Next thing you know, Tavy is getting in that pool fully clothed.
That bitch said, I'm gonna give you $500 and you jumped in the pool. I said, you ain't gotta say nothing else.
I tell this bitch Tavy like, hey, $500, you jump in that pool. I didn't think she was gonna do it, but just cold.
She jumped in the pool for
Yes,
it?
I bet her $500 if she really did it.
God.
We need that brush.
Are you stupid?
I wonder if she got that $500. Sprinter number 2 pulls up, and that is the sprinter with the big 3 tank, you know, who else was on there? Rolly, you know, all the people. It was like the drama bus. We know what happened on that bus. So they're greeting that, but it's like complete chaos because it's like so many different things going on. And that's pretty much what this episode was. It's like, I swear to y'all, it took me so long to take notes because I literally had to keep playing back and try to catch what people were saying. And on some points, I still couldn't catch what they were saying, but it was just complete chaos. We got Suki over here talking about where's the food at? Where's the food at? And then we got Dolly and Tank, you know, still going back and forth based off of their altercation that just happened on the bus. Of course, Dolly and Tank squares up and runs that. And like I said, nah, Tank, you lost.
Nah, Dolly, you lost.
Like, I don't know how many times people got to run fades with Tank. She's not given this season. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the baby. Maybe it's just, you know, she did say on, what was it, episode 2, that she needed to get her stamina up. No, was it? I think it was episode 2 when she snuck Tommy. But yeah, it was episode 2. But her saying she needed to get her stamina up was a real fact because she's getting fucked up. No shit. So I did slow down the altercation just to see, like, you know, what actually went down. They both kind of rushed each other, but all in all, I think that Dolly got it, even though they both were low-key missing, like slowing it down. They was kind of hitting the air at some points, but I would say that Dolly won because she got the most hits out of the two. Then they square up for a second time, and Rolly's in the distance like, Tank, you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight. And then Tank is like,
But I am though.
So they square up again, and I'm not going to lie, this round Tank did get the best of Dolly. I do feel like because, like I said, she has an advantage because of her size. And so I think that is what kind of like helped her. But I just don't feel like these 20, 30, 40 fades are necessary. Like, can we move on? Like, we gotta keep moving. The season is gonna keep moving, so the storylines gotta keep moving. But they go for a third time, and this time Summer is direct. She called herself directing, and we gonna get on Summer, but Summer was annoying as this episode. Like, she was just loud and just inserting herself in everything. It was very annoying. I literally had to keep pausing because I'm like, I was yelling at the screen like, Summer, shut the fuck up. Literally like everybody else. But she directing a fight like, eat. So apparently I didn't see it, and I did try to like slow it down, but apparently at some point, I guess Summer stepped in and grabbed Dolly by the titty. So she's like, Summer, stop, you grab my titty. Cause you know, she got that little accent. So she's like, Summer, you grab my titty. And they just like going back and forth. And this is what I'm saying. Like, we saw little bits and pieces on last episode, but I feel like we're seeing more and more crumbles in the big three. And the common denominator is Summer. Like, literally, she's the problem. So in the midst of all this, Lex comes over to where, you know, Dolly and Summer was when Dolly was like, you know, you got my titty or whatever. And Lex is like, Summer, stop. You're doing too much. And Summer and Lex kind of had a lot of these moments, but they kind of had like a back and forth moment. And Summer's just like, no, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's just like, I'm not doing too much and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So Lex goes into her confessional following this encounter, and she's basically just saying like, Summer's drunk and she can tell, and once Summer is up there and she's drunk, it's very, very difficult to get her back down. And we see that escalate. Like I said, we're gonna get to it, but like, it's a lot of foreshadowing within the first episode that really, I mean, not the first episode, the first couple of scenes in this episode that I feel like sets the tone for what the rest of the episode is going to have. Because when I tell you it got worse and worse and worse as things progress, it literally got worse. And like, even in the scene, you can see Summer is doing a lot, because I don't know what was said, but I think this was like in the midst of her back and forth with Lex, and she's basically like, Summer none other is like basically saying, I'm Summer none other, bitch, who else? And like, I also want to add, like, you can literally tell within the scene that Lex is trying to like maintain that, like, that's just something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, brush it off, even though we can tell that it's kind of getting to her, because she's like, Summer, shut up. Like, you know, she's trying to get her to stop doing the most, but she kind of like laughs it off. She's like, yeah, she off that lick. I thought that was a good standout moment, because it really shows like how good of a friend Lex is, because one, she's trying to correct her friend, and also even in the midst of them going back and forth, you could tell that she didn't want to do that in front of everybody. And you know what I'm saying, she was trying to like save face by saying, you know, that she just off the lick, like just kind of downplaying it so it doesn't look worse to the outer audience, even though we all is looking at it like. So as this group is coming in, I was dying laughing, y'all, because Gretch has been going out so sad, it's embarrassing. And especially in this episode, because of a later event that happens. But it was just so funny, because when they got into the house, she's like all up in Natalie's face, like slapping her butt, like, hey, you know, we lit. Natalie literally walked past her. And it was just like, yo, you look dumb. You look dumb. Just like last episode, her trying to dap up Tiki, and Tiki like, Chrisean, get the fuck. So once the second group came in, because mind you, like I said, the first group was already in the backyard because Tavy wanted to jump in the pool. But so Fauna, she sees when they come through, she sees Tank's eye, because her eye was leaning. Y'all know those baby dolls that like, you know, open and close their eyes, but like after a certain point, once the baby doll is like a little older, one eye be leaning. That's exactly what Dolly looked like. And then she also commented about how Dolly's nose was busted, because like we said, her nose started leaking after they first started fighting when they was on the sprinter or whatever. Now that we have, I guess, the bulk of the ladies, because we're still missing like a bus and a couple more cast members or whatever, Natalie is basically telling the ladies that are all there that, you know, she's been going through a lot mentally with like all the stuff going on online. And she basically also presents that she had Bad Girls chains for the bad girls, and she's trying to like explain about like how she felt the way on episode 1 when she walked out of the scene and everything. And she also, for the 50th time, talks about how Scotty's pregnant. Then once again, Summer inserts herself with nothing that ever had to do with her in regards to Tank versus Cold Killer. And she basically starts up this discussion once again, and then Killer, she goes in and tells why they're even fighting, and Killer basically just says over the song, which is a dumb reason. Also, by the way, in scene, Killer looks really good. I can't say the same about Tank. I'm not saying that Tank is ugly, but Killer got that. Face card for face card, Killer got that. No shade. But they're just arguing back and forth and just basically saying how they don't know each other. And Killer is saying like she feels played with over her song because, you know, she don't play about, she got it off the muscle, you know, all that, the 40 million views. I forgot how many views it has, but she always takes the opportunity to tell how many views her song got. So Tank, which she threw me off with this confessional because she's all like she's getting bullied by the girl. But like the thing that I keep playing back in my mind is like literally you ran up on Killer when you came into the banquet hall or whatever, because it wasn't a restaurant. Whenever you came where the presidential dinner was supposed to be, you was on that. Killer, I'm not going to say that Killer wasn't going to be on that because I do feel like if it were to happen either way, it would have happened. But the principle of it is that you're the one that was like, come on, like you the one that walked in a room and wanted to fight Cold Killer. So they're going back and forth. Natalie is just like me. She's like, all right, we got it. Because it's just like y'all are literally arguing about the same thing and y'all keep fighting about the same thing. Like, are we going to come to a resolution? Are we going to mash up the songs? Like, I just need to know because at this point it's dumb. And I really just feel like it's a pointless back and forth. So I actually skipped the part when about like the re-announcing Scotty's pregnancy. Basically, this is where they start talking about it. But Natalie brings it up and she asks like if Scotty's having a boy or a girl. Scotty says she doesn't know. We now know that she's having a girl. But Summer then comes over there and she's like, yeah, if it's a girl, you should name it Summer. And Scotty's like, no, I name her Winter before I name her Summer.
If it's a girl, name her Summer. I will not. I will do Winter before Summer.
Now, the next bus, which is the final bus before the other ladies come through. But the bus that comes in is Tiki's bus. We know that Tiki, Anna, Biggie, Mariah, and I think that's it that was in that bus. They come through. You hear Summer as they're coming through, which I'm just like, see, this is what I'm talking about. You claim that you're getting bullied and you're being attacked, but you're antagonizing these people because as soon as they start walking through, she's booing them loud. At first, it was like a boo, boo. But then as they got closer, she's like, boo, boo. We know that she's fought Mariah Lynn and also Anna within that group. So I feel like that was just a group as a whole, but she trying to claim that she's getting bullied, and that's not the case at all. Summer is still doing a lot because, mind you, as all of this is happening, Anna and I think Biggie were, and I think Mariah too, because Tiki was mute. She wasn't on that and wasn't really like interacting with the ladies as much, but Anna's going around hugging everybody and they're complimenting each other saying, you look good, da 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 da. And Summer, because mind you, Anna had a shirt on that said Miss America on it. And Summer basically is like, yeah, you look cute, but you're not Miss America or something like that. Like, just trying to get a reaction. And I'm just like, you just want the scene to be about you. Like, she was annoying the fuck out of me, because I'm like, certain things just don't need to be said. We get it, you're a troll, but it was like, it was 10 times worse because she was drunk and she just was doing a lot. We see Tiki is just staring at Summer. Like, mind you, she has sunglasses on, but you can tell that she's looking at Summer, because she just has this blank stare, and she just looking like, yo, she really wants attention. And she literally says, she looks around and like, this bitch want attention. And then we get Dolly, because it was like some type of back and forth, but Dolly says, make baddies great again, make baddies great again. And they like talking about that. And then Summer chimes in, is just like, make Summer great again. Make, like, girl, shit. Like, does everything have to center around Summer? None other. Like, we get it. We get it. We get it. Biggie was like, you trying to be shady or whatever, basically, to Dolly's comment saying, no, you look great, actually. So then Natalie is trying to get an update with like the other squabbles that happened, and she asked Biggie, like, did she fight Smiley? She's like, yep. Now there's a conversation that's being had between Anna and Dolly. And to sum it up, it was just basically Dolly saying that her and Anna were cool at one point, but something about a premiere. Like I said, I don't follow all the Baddies T pages, so I really can't give you guys a breakdown about everything, even though, like I said, I see things in passing, but I do kind of need to start paying more attention, because I get a little caught up. But anyway, they're basically just going back and forth, and Anna says that you treated on me for this dumb dirty, talking about Summer. Summer, of course, responds. Now, this is something that she is wanted to respond to, but Summer's like, who dirty? Who's dirty? Blah, blah, blah. And so they're going back and forth, but Dolly is trying to have a conversation with Anna, because at the end of the day, it was Anna and Dolly having the conversation. Dolly's just basically saying, like, I'm sick of this. Y'all fuck with me or y'all don't fuck with me. Like, if y'all fuck with me, then y'all fuck with me. If y'all don't fuck with me, then y'all don't fuck with me, and just say that. In response to that, Anna is basically saying, like, as a collective, which I'm presuming, damn, I can't talk. I'm presuming that she's talking about, you know, her crew with Tiki, Biggie, and Mariah. And she's basically just like, you know, we collectively said that we like you and Lex. It's that bitch that we don't fuck with. And then Dolly, she was killing me, because she's like, it's confusing though, it's confusing. And then here you go, Summer is yelling over Dolly. And so she's basically just telling her, like, this is my drama, let me handle it. Like, this is a conversation between me and Anna, and you keep inserting yourself. Let me say my piece. And in her confessional, in Dolly's confessional, she basically just saying, like, she does not give a fuck about what Summer's talking about.
We was really trying to have a real conversation. Someone in my ear right here, jet. Man, I don't give a fuck what she talking about.
So back in the scene, she's still trying to have a conversation with Anna, and she's basically just saying, like, you're too small, I'm not gonna fight you. And this sparks up even more, like, she erupts even more talking about Summer, because then she's like, well, I'm smaller than Tiki, and I fought that big bitch, and da-da-da. And like, she's like, Summer, shut up, stay out of it. And we hear Anna from the distance is basically saying, like, you're taller than Dolly, and da-da-da. So Dolly is, of course, getting frustrated, and she's trying to get Summer removed, but Summer's like, they not removing shit. And still trying to talk over her, trying to say something about Tiki and how she was getting slapped up and down the set, but nobody cared about the size difference between them. But my thing is, you keep provoking this lady to want to fight you, especially with something so serious like those allegations. They're very serious, and regardless of who started it, it's really none of your business to continue to try to spread that and like calling her all types of and pets and like all this stuff. So of course you're poking the bear and you're gonna make her mad, and like Tiki is clearly over her. But next thing you know, literally as all of this is happening, Tiki is just walking up just as calm as ever, and boom, another slap. It was just so satisfying to see like how like the recoil from that slap, because when I tell you Summer like flew back, like no exaggeration, that lady flew back. And it's just like, if one slap is going to do that to you, I really don't think that you want to get in the field with Tiki. I really don't think that you should do that for the sake of your well-being. Mind you, in the midst of the slap, I guess Summer, like it happened so fast, but Summer was trying to swing, but clearly failed because she was literally swinging on the air. Like when I tell you she was like literally swinging on the air, she was not hitting her not one time. And it might have did a little bit of damage if it did land, but none of those hits landed. I swear, like that shit had me crying laughing. And Dolly, which I want to acknowledge that Dolly and Lex were being very good friends in this episode, but Dolly is trying to be a good friend and save Summer essentially from getting whooped. But Summer apparently needs that, because she's literally pulling through Dolly trying to say like, no, like, let me get the bitch. Like, let me get at her. You're asking for it. And then she's like telling Tiki, like, you mad for what? You mad for what? And Tiki is so over it. Like, you could just tell by her whole demeanor. Like, she's not really giving much energy to Summer, not as much as Summer's giving to her. And she's basically like, this bitch, like, she keep talking to me. She's talking to me and getting mad that I'm now taking action, but you keep talking to me and I'm not giving you, like, when I tell you from the moment that Tiki and her crew got off that sprinter and came onto the scene, Tiki was the one person out of that entire group that said nothing. She literally didn't say anything. And so it's like, Summer, you're literally provoking the lady. Summer just keeps running her mouth, and then she swings again at the air. Once again, windmilling the fuck out of the air. Like I said, if Tiki was right there, she might have got hit. But when I tell you Tiki was literally weaving, bobbing and weaving, like that's how you know that Tiki really is a fighter and she know what she's doing, because her speed and how quick she was on her feet was like crazy, because she was like, Summer was literally swinging so wild that she literally could have hit her. Dolly and Lex are trying to hold her back, and we get a clip of Summer saying like, I'm not scared of you, bitch. I'm not scared of you, bitch. And like I said, Gretchen's going outside because Gretchen's standing right there. I don't know what she thought she was doing because she's smaller than everybody. But you trying to step in the middle like you about to do something. I was confused. But Summer's like, I'm not scared of you, bitch. And like she swings and hits Gretchen in the back of her neck.
Ain't nobody scared of you, man. It doesn't matter.
That shit had me crying because you could tell that Gretchen felt that. Gretchen. This is about to be a funny season because like I said from episode 1, I'm on your neck. Ho. I'm on your neck every chance that I get. But then, now this part really took me aback. I'm not going to lie, because Summer was getting bold, like running her mouth crazy. She's like, you are rich. And then like, you could see like Lex was trying her hardest to not really do too much, but like you saw the anger within what she was doing, because she literally grabs up Summer by her shirt and she's like yanking her back like, Summer, stop, like no, like, you know what I'm saying, like basically like trying to tell her that she's doing too much, which she is. And Summer's in her confessional saying, keep that in the family group chat because I'm not your sister and this, that, and the third. Like, don't get me wrong. yes, Chrisean was the one that brought it to, the public and whatnot. But you saying take that up with your sister when you're like repeatedly now, like this is not just a 1 or 2 time offense. You're now saying it multiple times on multiple different occasions, and you have nothing to do with anything. You weren't there. You don't know whether or not it happened. Just like I don't know whether or not it happened. So that's why I'm being very limited in like my opinions on the situation, because at the end of the day, I'm not a Malone sister, okay? I was not there, but at the end of the day, neither were you, Summer. So you should not be saying no shit like that and like doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it, because now you looking crazy trying to say leave it in the family group chat when you didn't took it beyond that. Now they have Summer, like they tried to like get her over far away from everybody else, and Lex, Natalie, and Rolly have her over there. And Rolly is telling Summer like, if your sister is talking, aka Dolly, I don't know if they consider each other sisters or considered, because we know that they're not friends anymore, but regardless, if your friend is talking, you should not be interrupting. Like, you know what I'm saying? She lets you get your 1 and 2 out with whoever you arguing with, going back and forth with, and she doesn't insert herself. So Summer's not trying to hear that. She like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And she's like, Summer, you cannot do that. And Nat is even yelling at her, which I'm like, okay, CEO, period. Like, okay, CEO, she fighting for her spot. Cause let me thought she was sweet, trying to say we looking for some replacements. And Natalie said, I have to think quick. But Natalie is like going off on her too. And she's just like, you keep interrupting her, and you need to stop that. So now they walk over back to where Tiki is standing, and Tiki's ready. Like, you can just tell she not really trying to go back and forth. She's getting in position. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to run that. Summer just keeps saying, you want to fight me? Fight your sister. Fight your sister. Da, 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 da. Next thing you know, from the whole other side of the fucking field, we see Killer sneaking, we see Killer sneaking Tank. Not really much happened. They're squaring up, and we see Tank, with her theatrics. Why you sneak me? Why you sneak me? And then I don't know if Killer said cause I'm her or cause I'm not her. I don't know, but either way, she said that's the reason why she snuck her. We get Killer with her famous Usher in the confessionals. I've been waiting for it, but she basically just like, bitch, you gonna respect me, and I ain't even mad at her. We get this long ass square up. And that's why I'm saying, let's get ready to tango, because that's literally what they was doing. It took them 20 minutes to literally square up, and they just like scooting back. At a certain point, Killer falls, and Tank tries to get at her. And like I said, Dolly and Lex might be the MVPs of this episode, because I respected that even though we saw that, Lex and Killer had their differences and whatnot, especially on Africa. We see that, she did a very respectable thing. She was like, she stopped Tank from trying to get at Killer because she fell on the ground, which, like I said, I respect, because, don't try to, after y'all was squaring up for 20 minutes straight, scooting back, scooting up, left, right, and now that Killer is on the ground when you have the advantage, now you want to start swinging. That's weak to me. So they're still not doing it. And then we get this another funny scene, which I'm really enjoying. Like, I'm enjoying this season because it has a good mixture of the drama, and we also get some funny moments where I can laugh at, which I feel like we've been missing from the last couple of seasons. Because like I said, they knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing with the season, because we get like a side angle of Suki and Sapphire like reenacting what they was doing. They like salsa dancing in the corner, and like that had me dying because I'm just like, that's exactly what they look like. They look goofy as hell. So now they finally start fighting, and honestly, I really don't give a fuck.
Do a little breeze. Bitch. Nah. Yo. I'm sorry. I'm sick. But it's cool.
Back to Summer and Tiki. Summer is like, why you wanna fight me? You're not about to smack me, and da-da-da-da. Summer gets to swinging once again, missing, hitting the air, whatever. And mind you, it did seem like Tiki did want to try and talk, just maybe just a little bit, but like she's literally like, I'm not ready to just keep sitting here and let you drag on me and disrespect me, and I never disrespected you, which I can't say for sure whether or not, but I really don't think that Tiki disrespected Summer to that point of like her having to go that low and say that disgusting stuff about her. And so she's just telling her, watch your mouth, like that's all you gotta do, and I don't have to fight you. But the fact that she keeps going and going and going is only, like I said, poking the bear. Summer's windmilling for her life once again, and it's just so funny how it was just so effortless that Tiki was just bobbing and weaving and dodging. And she didn't swing once at this point. Like, she literally didn't swing besides that slap from earlier. Tiki in her confessional literally says, I'm done with the slapping. Like, this bitch done took it too far. I want to square up. Like, I want to actually fight. So Summer now takes her wig off and she's like, you a weird bitch. I still believe Chrisean. I still believe Chrisean, over and over and over again, provoking her. Next thing you know, this was like so satisfying. Like, every time that Tiki got her, I was like, get her again. Get her again. Because when I tell you, I just wanted Summer to shut up, even though I knew that she wasn't, because we know Summer and she never shuts the fuck up no matter how much she get beat up. It's just like, at what point will you just stop? Like, for real. Tiki banged her and her shit. One good usher. Every time that Tiki hit her, it's like Summer flew back. She literally flew back. Summer says, you ain't no bully, you ain't no bully. And she did hit Tiki at the top of her head. She did get her one because she knocked her head off. And then, like, I don't know if Tiki was like trying to dodge and she slipped, but somehow she slipped. And they kind of dance around, and Tiki is telling her like to swing. Like, she like, swing, swing. And Summer is wildly hitting once again, and she weaves it. And Tiki hits Summer in her shit once again. And I slowed it down because this is when they kind of started to scuffle a little bit and was getting a lot more hits. And Tiki was getting her, but when I slowed it down, she wasn't really getting her much of her face. I think she probably hit her face like once. And then after that, she was mostly hitting her in her chest area. And then Summer has her hair, like she had a good grip on Tiki's hair, and so she did get a little bit of control because she was like pulling her, and she did hit her in her head a few times too. So Summer, she cut up pretty well. I was surprised because I thought that she was gonna get thrashed real bad, but she was fighting back, and she did hit Tiki a few times. Nat and Summer go up the stairs onto the balcony, and as this is happening, she's like telling Nat like how big Tiki is compared to her and how it's not a fair fight and whatnot. And then we get Chrisean, DJ Scott, and Marsh coming in. And you can see like the shift again in energy with Tiki, because now her anger is turning into like sadness and frustration. You can see like how everything is kind of taking a toll on her. And I really was so empathetic of Tiki in the scene, because she was like going through so many emotions from having to go back and forth with Summer and, you know, fight about something that Chrisean started, to then seeing the very person that tried to bank her or jump her, whatever, for Chrisean is now not, well, she's technically not part of the cast, but still in the vicinity. And so I feel like it's just a lot of emotions coming over her. Summer is yelling from the top of the balcony to Chrisean, like, beat that bitch ass, talking about Tiki. Lex is like, Summer, shut the fuck up. And like, she's like, no, you shut the fuck up. Mind you, Gretch is in between them. So they're yelling between Gretch. And then Gretch is all like, Summer, you be getting your friends into some certain shit. And Summer's like, I don't give a fuck, like yelling in Gretch face. Like, she got real close to Gretch face too. I'm like, Gretchen. Going outside once again, I see. Lex is trying to be a voice of reason to Summer and understand, and to get Summer to understand why everybody is upset at this point. And Summer's basically like, fuck you. And you could, like I said, you could just tell that Lex does not want for this to be happening, but she just says, fuck it. And she say, fuck you, and storms off. So she's crying to her sister, and Chrisean was blowing me too, because she was looking so confused and acting like she didn't know what was going on and the gravity of the situation and whatnot. And she's basically just trying to tell her, like, you apologized, but you still have this girl on the side dragging on me, like basically just continuously saying all these negative things about me, and you're not saying anything. You're not defending me. And we get it, Chrisean, you said on this new season, you're not fighting. That's not what you're here for, whatever the case may be. But the least you could do, especially because you are the one who started this, the least you could do is be like, Summer, stop. Summer, chill. Summer, this is none of your business. Chrisean was rage baiting me. Like, I feel like I was being rage baited because she was pissing me off so bad, because in her confessional, she's like, she's crying. What is she crying about? She's a grown woman. Da, da, da.
Why are you crying? How old are you? Just pull it together.
You the same one who on your first season coming on the Baddies, you had a sippy cup. Would Natalie say, take that Hennessy and that fucking sippy cup from her?
And take that motherfucking sippy cup and the Hennessy from her.
You had a sippy cup. You had a pacifier. And you literally referred to yourself as the big baby. But Tiki, a grown woman, because she's showing emotion through a traumatic experience that she had with you. You are a walking contradiction. I need her off my screen. Sorry, ladies and gents, I had to change the angle because I'm trying to get this video done and my camera's pissing me off because it's talking about it's about to die. So I have you guys on the charger, but we're going to continue the video as we were. Summer's trying to walk off and we see Anna running up to get her. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, in that moment watching it, I wasn't mad at it. Even though it is contradicting the fact that this has nothing to do currently with Anna. But if Summer is consistently saying that Tiki is attacking her and she's bigger than her, you got someone right here that's in the same, you know what I'm saying, weight class as you. So, you know what I'm saying, Anna is trying to get at her. So I honestly wasn't even mad at it. For real, for real. And we just see this scene of Tiki getting in Chrisean's face, and you can just see the frustration and like her literally trying her hardest to not put her hands on her sister. And she's trying to get it through to Chrisean and her thick ass skull, because it just seemed like she not trying to hear her on purpose. Like, it's seeming like she's misunderstanding her on purpose, but she's literally like grabbing Chrisean's face, like trying to talk to her and she said something like, you know, Junior's not my son, but he's my son. Like, you know, basically just saying like, you know, she's been there for her and her son. And you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody just shitting on her. Now back on the stairs, we have Summer and I believe Lex was there. And they're going back and forth once again. And Lex walks away. And I think Dolly was still right there. And Chrisean comes on the steps and she's saying something to Summer. She like, chill. Still not really saying much, but I guess this is better than nothing. So she telling Summer to chill. And Tiki sneakily comes over. And long story short, knocks both Dolly and Summer down the steps, but she was really trying to hit Summer. I don't know if she completely hit her, but Summer flew down the steps. It was a lot going on. Like when I tell y'all this last portion, especially, it was just like a lot of chaos. But in the midst of this, Suki is yelling up the stairs and telling Summer that she isn't Dolly's friend. I guess she's saying it because, you know, she didn't let Dolly talk. And this is how everything began with this whole altercation. But Summer drunk ass or like, and you not Sukiana friend. Mind you, this is Suki. But then she like quickly changed it. She was like, you not Sapphire friend. You not Sapphire friend. And next thing you know, Anna finally gets her ass. She runs up from behind on the stairs. Mind you, it's a security guard right there next to Summer. And she didn't really get to hit her, but she dragged Summer down on the steps. And she just kicking. But Rolly is fed the fuck up. She kind of like grabs up Summer and is like, pushing her into the corner. She just yelling, shut the fuck up, Summer. Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of you. Did it like really going off on her. Like it was giving mother and daughter.
This ain't even got nothing to do with you, boy. I don't give a fuck. Calm the fuck out right now. Right the fuck now. You need
Next thing you know, Tiki just stroll over and boop, right in the side of her face once again. So they take Summer into the house and they kind of put her into this room. So now she's in the room with Tommy and she's in the room with Lex. She's crying now. She's crying to Tommy, I guess, because she feels like she's being attacked, but it's just like, you asked for this. She's crying to Tommy like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And she's now yelling at Lex at the same time like, and you let them bitches touch me, get the fuck out of the room or something like that. Like basically just trying to like tell Lex to get away because she didn't help her. And Lex is now crying. And I feel like she got emotional. And she also says in her confessional that she got emotional because she feels like Summer needs someone who can kind of ground her. And she was just getting frustrated because she thought that she could be that person for her. But Lex, I'm going to tell you this right now. If the person that you want to help doesn't want the help for themselves, they're a lost cause. And that's just what it is. Summer is never going to really learn until, I can't even say till she get beat up, because she's getting beat up and she's still not shutting up. So I really don't know what it's going to take. Death? I don't know what it's going to take. Because at this point, it's like you really have to pick and choose when to run your mouth. Next thing you know, some way, somehow, Tiki get in that back room and start working Summer out. Next week, we see the full fight between Summer and Tiki, which I'm ready to see. I'm not going to lie. I'm just ready for Summer to get tore out the frame. Because somebody got to do it. Then we get a scene with Summer and Lex arguing once again. And then we see Tiki and Chrisean have that emotional back and forth. Then we see Rolly versus Daisy. And I'm excited to see this one. And we also see the scene where the bad girls come in once again. Shout out to Seven because she was looking good in the trailer. But we see Natalie giving out the bad girl chains. And then we also see Sway versus Summer. And did y'all see Summer face? That lip was huge. I'm satisfied. But You guys let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments down below. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties and the change in angle. Please continue to show me some love because it is so much hard work and dedication that really goes into me filming these videos. Like, y'all don't understand the whole process of me watching the show and then having to go back and take notes of the show. And like me, I want to make sure that I give you guys like a step-by-step, scene-by-scene, play-by-play type of recap so that, you know, we visualize as we go. And then got to go over my notes, figure out how I want to say it, film it, edit it, come up with a thumbnail, come up with a title. Like, there's so many things that go into it. But like I said, I really do appreciate all of the love that I've been receiving because it's crazy how I'm getting all this watch time, all these views. Like, my analytics are going crazy. So please continue to do that. I hope to see you guys next week, and maybe I might give y'all a little wind down video. I don't know, because I have so many story times and videos in the vault for you guys. But I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You said I can't trust in you.